Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News, here with Ryan the Real Deal Ford, and again, another big win at Bellator. This time, though, against a late replacement who was really tougher than nails, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I took the fight, I think maybe a week before, you know, I was supposed to fight another guy that they gave me, but you know me, man, I'm a fighter at heart, so you know what, whoever it is, like I said, they could change the opponent the day of the weigh-ins. Let's scrap.
You know, speaking of let's scrap, that's what that fight turned out to be. You know, you were pushing the pace on him in the first round, throwing everything you had. I thought he was done. He was the only one who didn't think he was done, and he was able to last another 2 rounds. You know, what does that do to you, you know, when you throw everything you can at a guy and he's still there?
Yeah, you know, I think a little bit of the old Ryan Ford came out a little bit wild, right? But, you know, I knew that with him, because I've seen only a couple of his fights, I knew with him, you know, he's a warrior, he was a tough guy, and I knew that I had to push him back. So, you know, I pushed him right from the beginning. I came hard at him, and he was able to, you know, weather those punches. And, man, you know, if you look at him right now, you're like, man, this guy took a beating, and I give credit to him. You know, out of everybody who I fought, I'm giving him, he's the toughest guy that I've had to face.
Now, that is definitely some big praise there. And the one thing I want to ask, you said you went back to the old Ryan Ford. You did in the scrappiness, but you ain't no wrestler no more, my friend. Where did the knees come from? You were throwing big, huge knees from that clinch. I haven't seen that from you, at least that devastating before.
Yeah, you know, well, my game's stepping up, right? You're going to be seeing a lot of things that people are like, man, he's doing this, he's doing that, right? It's, you know what, I give credit to all my training partners and my coach Faraz Zahabi down at TriStar Gym. Those guys, you know, I'm blessed to be, you know, there. You know, I call them my second home now, and just to be surrounded by all those high-level athletes and, you know, them giving me different tips and this and that, you know, it's, you know, I believe that it's made my game improve a lot.
Well, I definitely think we've seen the fruits of your improvement there. Now, you know, you spent a lot of time in Edmonton before you went down to TriStar. You know, what's the training like in Edmonton when you're with the fam and everything down there?
You know, the training is not as hard, I'll tell you that. You know, I try to push it to that pace, but, you know, a lot of the guys there just can't go at that pace, right? And the level of guys is, you know, not to TriStar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not discrediting any of the guys back at Edmonton, back at home, but for me to perform at the level that I'm at now, I know that I have to be with guys that are above me. You know, and I got to get my ass handed to me in the gym, and you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the thing that's, you know, really boosts my confidence up. When I step in there, I'm ready to fight anybody, you know, like I'm in the gym with all those guys there, so when it comes fighting it, it's like, who you got for me? You know, what am I not going to see? You know, what am I going to see that I haven't seen already being at the gym?
Well, you want to, you know, the last time we saw you, you know, a huge knockout win. This time, you know, a fight of the night, basically, decision win. You know, what's next for you with Bellator? But really, you know, before that, I'm hearing rumors that you might be fighting again this month.
Yeah, you know, it's rumors right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
there's the slight potential.
There's a slight potential, yeah, there is. If I can clear everything with Bellator and everything's okay, then, you know, I want to go back home and, you know, put on for them. You know, that's where the money is, right? Yeah. But, you know, I'm waiting to see what happens with Bellator. You know, Spike TV next year. Man, that means Ryan Ford, big money.
Damn right, damn right. You know what I mean? Now, before we let you go, family, friends, sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
My family, you know, first and foremost, you know, they support me. You know, I can't wait to go home and see my babies. You know, my wife came out here the other day and so happy to see her. And my babies, I talked to them before the fight, and, you know, that's, you know, there's nothing better in the world that, you know, when they see me and I just, you know, I'm for real, like, I'm probably gonna break down and cry this time, because, you know, it's been 6 weeks that I've been away from them, and that's the main people that I want to see, right? First, when I get off that plane, that's all I want to see is my family. And, you know, big shout out to all my sponsors. I don't got my shorts on me. Went a hard fight, so, you know, they know who you are. You know, everybody knows if you supported me now, you support me all the time, you know, that's who I give a big shout out to. And, you know, big shout out to all the haters who are probably going to be talking shit about me about this fight, but you know what I'm saying? Step in the ring with the real deal, then talk shit.
Exactly. You know, one hell of a fighter, one hell of a family man. Big win, Don Wilson. Ryan, the Real Deal Ford, Top MMA News.